Once upon a time, there was a family, Chris and Jan, who wanted to have a child. And they wanted to have a child so badly they would do anything in the world to bring a child into their family. And far, far away across the mountains and over the sea, in a land far away, was a young woman who was about to become a mother. And in the night, she sighed and cried because she knew she wasn't able to take care of her baby. And back in Canada, Chris and Jan sighed and cried in the night because they knew they wanted a baby. And so the story was told. My partner and I always wanted to have a child. She was a nurse, I was a teacher and an administrator, and we always wanted to have a child for our family. So we went to Romania because we knew that there were many children in need. We wanted to help a child. We also knew that many of the children who'd been in institutions suffered great damage. So we went in June of 1990, and it was very difficult because most of the children, of the 100,000 children in orphanages, most of those children were not orphans. Most of those children were from families who couldn't afford to keep them. No matter how many orphanages we visited, we could not find one baby to be adopted, one baby who had papers. And we had only one contact there, a man who spoke English and Romanian, and his name was Constantine, and we hired him to help us. So Constantine luckily had a brother-in-law who was a physician. That brother-in-law knew of some doctors working in maternity who knew of two girls who were teenagers having babies, about to have babies, whose families told them those babies, they weren't able to feed them at home. One of those was Laura.
Yay me.
We had a lucky encounter. We were able to meet, Jan and I were able to meet Laura's birth mother, Aurelia, and her birth grandmother, Maria, in the courthouse on the day that the adoption actually happened. But when the translator said they want to know if you have questions for them, and the grandmother said, we only have one question. And we listened intently, and the question was, do they love the baby? Of course, we burst into tears. Yes, we love the baby. That's all they needed to know. So we got to meet her when she was 2 days old, and it took 6 days of incredible trials and tribulations to try and do the paperwork for her. She was in a hospital all that time, wrapped in the pictures you'll see like a little tiny babushka. She was very cute with black hair and big bright eyes, and we thought she was perfect. She was 6 weeks in a hospital, and she wasn't well treated in the hospital. She was wrapped in a tight blanket, which is a good security for small babies. But typically with babies, you want to hold them, and you want to look at them and have eye contact with them and play with them and interact with them. And there was nobody there to do that. They did not have the staff to do that. So the babies, Laura and many others like her, lined up in cribs just like in the orphanage, were given one feeding of milk, one feeding of tea, alternating. And they didn't have diapers or anything. They just took these cloths off and put a new cloth all the way around. So it wasn't very hygienic. She wasn't very clean. She wasn't well taken care of. Well, we did participate in 2 studies through Simon Fraser University when Laura was 4 and when she was 7. And they did a number of tests, intelligence tests and emotional tests. And we were surprised when they told us that Laura was insecurely attached to us, not securely attached to us. And so that was the beginning of our long and slow and gradual understanding that for most children who are adopted, attachment can become an issue. And trying to feel like you really do belong and that you are attached to someone is an issue, even if you're not institutionalized for a long period of time or even at all. Although Laura was a perfectly happy little girl and bright, smart, cheerful, positive. She was also afraid to leave us, and she had a hard time sometimes making new friends as a little girl because she was a little bit scared and shy. And that was part of her, sort of attachment challenges. She struggled from anxiety at times, from depression at times. And so those are things that she's navigating now. Some people create their families. Some people give birth to children. Some people adopt children. Some people have one mom and one dad. Some people have two moms and two dads. Some people have just one mom or just one dad. Some people live with grandparents. And she was told right from the beginning that she had two moms, that she was Romanian, that she had Gypsy Romani roots, that she could be proud of her history, proud of her family at home who did the most courageous thing, trying to find her a better life, and proud of being Canadian too, a Romanian Canadian.